If you've ever bought a plant, followed the watering instructions perfectly, and watched it turn into a crispy skeleton anyway, this video is for you. I'm showing you 5 plants that are almost impossible to kill, even with bad light, even if you forget to water them for a month. Stick around. Plant number 3 has survived real neglect in my house, and it's still thriving. Hey, welcome to the garden sage. If you're new here, this is for people who think they have a black thumb. You probably don't. Stores just sell a lot of high-maintenance plants without telling you. Today, 5 of the toughest, most forgiving houseplants out there, what they look like, why they're so hard to kill, and the one mistake to still avoid. Let's get into it. If this helps, subscribe to the Garden Sage for more beginner-proof plant videos. Tell me in the comments which one have you already killed. See you next time. Let's start with a plant that's basically the final boss of neglect, the snake plant. Look at these leaves, thick, waxy, almost rubbery. That's not just for looks. This plant stores water inside its leaves, kind of like a camel stores fat, which means it doesn't need frequent watering. In fact, it prefers being left alone. Here's the wild part. Snake plants can go 2, even 3 weeks without water and barely notice. Low light? No problem. Dry, heated apartment in winter? It doesn't care. This is the plant for people who travel a lot or who simply forget things exist once they're out of sight. Now, here's the one thing that can kill it: overwatering. If the soil stays wet and soggy, the roots will rot, and that's the one mistake even this tough plant can't survive. So the rule is simple. Water it thoroughly, let it dry out completely, then wait even longer than you think you should before watering again. If you're someone who's killed every plant you've owned by overwatering out of love, this is your redemption arc. Give it less attention, not more, and it'll genuinely thrive. It's also one of the most recommended plants for total beginners, precisely because the margin for error is so wide. You'd honestly have to try to kill this one. Next up, Pothos, sometimes nicknamed Devil's Ivy, because it stays green even in conditions that would make most plants give up. This is the plant equivalent of that one friend who's just unbothered by everything. Pothos will grow in low light. It'll grow in bright, indirect light. It tolerates missed waterings. It tolerates being shoved in a corner you forgot about. And it actually communicates with you. When it's thirsty, the leaves droop slightly. Water it, and within 20 minutes or so, it perks right back up. It's basically giving you a visual notification. One of the best things about Pothos is how forgiving it is if it gets messy or leggy. Just snip a section of vine below a leaf node, drop it in a glass of water, and roots will start forming in a couple of weeks. That means one Pothos can basically turn into several free plants over time. Great if you want to fill your space without spending more money. The main thing to watch for is deep shade with zero natural light for extended periods. Even Pothos needs some ambient light to keep growing. But compared to almost any other houseplant, it's about as low stakes as it gets. If you want a plant that actively rewards forgetfulness, this is it. Now here's the one I mentioned earlier, the ZZ plant. I want to be honest with you. I have personally gone over a month without watering mine. Not on purpose, I just forgot. And it looked exactly the same as the day I forgot it. The secret is underground. ZZ plants grow thick, potato-like rhizomes beneath the soil that store water and nutrients for long stretches. It's the plant version of packing snacks for a road trip. It's always prepared for a dry spell. This makes it perfect for low-light offices, windowless bathrooms, or anyone who simply has an unpredictable schedule. It also grows slowly, which sounds like a downside, but actually means it needs far less maintenance overall. No constant repotting, no aggressive pruning. The glossy, dark green leaves also just look intentionally stylish, like something out of an interior design magazine, even if you've done absolutely nothing to earn that look. The one real risk here is the same as the snake plant, overwatering. Because it's built to survive drought, sitting in constant moisture is the one thing that stresses it out. So when in doubt, wait longer than feels natural before watering again. This is a plant built for people who want greenery without a maintenance schedule. Number 2 on this list has a name that tells you everything: the cast iron plant. Historically, this plant was popular in Victorian homes specifically because it could survive dim hallways, drafty rooms, and inconsistent care, conditions that killed most other decorative plants of that era. That reputation still holds up today. Cast iron plants tolerate low light, temperature swings, irregular watering, and general inconsistency better than almost anything else you can buy. If your home has a corner that gets barely any sunlight, the kind of spot where other plants have gone to die, this is likely the plant that will actually survive there. The trade-off is patience. This plant grows slowly, so don't expect a dramatic transformation in a few weeks. But that slow growth is part of why it's so low maintenance. You're not constantly repotting it or fighting to keep up with rapid growth. Because it's so tolerant of poor conditions, it's a great option for spaces like stairwells, offices, or rooms with minimal windows. It's not flashy, but it's dependable, the kind of plant that quietly outlasts every trendier plant you've bought around it. If durability matters more to you than fast results, this one earns its spot on the list. And finally, aloe vera. This is a succulent, which means it evolved to survive in dry, arid conditions with minimal water. That's important context because it explains exactly how to care for it. Bright light and infrequent watering. Think occasionally check in, not water on a schedule. Overwatering is really the only common mistake people make with aloe vera, since it's built for drought. Sitting in wet soil can cause root issues. Beyond that, it's remarkably low maintenance as long as it gets decent light. One extra reason people love keeping aloe vera around. Many households traditionally use the gel inside the leaves for minor skin care, like soothing dry skin, though if you're dealing with anything beyond a very minor issue, it's always best to check with a medical professional rather than relying solely on a houseplant. So to recap the full list: snake plant, pothos, ZZ plant, cast iron plant, and aloe vera. 5 plants that are forgiving, low maintenance, and genuinely hard to kill even with inconsistent care. If you've struggled with houseplants before, starting with one of these 5 is the easiest way to build confidence, and maybe finally retire the idea that you have a black thumb for good. So that's the list: snake plant, pothos, ZZ plant, cast iron plant, and aloe vera. 5 plants that don't ask for much, forgive a lot, and are genuinely hard to kill even if you're not paying close attention. Here's the real takeaway though: if you've killed plants before, it probably wasn't because you have a black thumb. It's more likely you were just handed the wrong plant for your lifestyle. Start with one of these 5, get a small win, build some confidence, and then you can branch out into trickier plants once you've got the basics down. If this video helped, hit subscribe to The Garden Sage. I post beginner-friendly plant care videos every week, no green thumb required. And drop a comment letting me know which one of these you're going to try first, or which one you've already managed to kill somehow. I always read them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.